next chapter is water. Water, it is used for three main purposes. That is, water is used for three main purposes. They are domestic purposes, agricultural purposes, and industrial purposes. Domestic purposes means we drink water, we use water for cooking, to clean utensils, to wash our clothes, to take bath, okay, or for all these things, right? And agricultural purpose means to grow the crops. We irrigate our crop fields, right? And we grow the crops. And in industries, to produce all types of materials that are needed for human beings, we need water, right? But where does this water we get from? Where do we get this water? Where do we get water? We get water from ponds, lakes, tanks, streams, and rivers. Rivers, wells, tube wells, bed wells, etc. So, where do we get water from? We get water from ponds, lakes, tanks, streams, rivers, wells, right? These many things. But where does the water come from to fill all these sources? So our sources of water are ponds, lakes, tanks, streams, rivers, wells, etc. These are the sources of water. Sources of water, right? And how these sources of water are getting filled up? Where does the water come from to fill the ponds, lakes, rivers, wells? Okay, so for this we need to learn water cycle. Before learning water cycle, we need to just remember, we need to just learn about the oceans. What is the role of oceans that it is being played by the in the water cycle? Just let us see. Ocean and seas, both of these two, they fill almost 2/3, that is about 71% of our earth. It is covered by oceans, and most of this water in the oceans and seas, it is filled with many salts, right? So it is filled with many salts, or many salts are dissolved in this water. So this water is saline water. Can we drink saline water? Sea water or saline water? It cannot be used for drinking purposes, domestic purposes, or agricultural purposes, or for industrial purposes. Why? Because the salts concentration that is present in the sea water is very high, so it cannot be used for all these purposes, right? So based on this, there was one poet, S.T. Coleridge, in 1978. He has written a poem, A Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. He described the plight of the sailors on a ship that is lost in the ocean, right? So he is explaining water is present everywhere, but not even a single drop is eligible for drinking, right? It is written by S.T. Coleridge. Okay. But though ocean's water is not actually suitable for drinking, oceans only are supplying water for all those sources of water from which we get the usable water. How the oceans supply water? Let us just discuss, right? What is water cycle? What is water cycle? Right. Can anyone tell what is water cycle?
Yes, sir. Sir, water cycle means, sir, the evaporation and by the rain, water process of changing water into water droplets and again converting water to form in form of rain is known as water cycle.
Right. Circulation of water.
Circulation of water in this manner is known as the water propulsion.
Between oceans and land. Between oceans and land. Circulation of water between oceans and land by the processes like evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. Right? See, circulation of water between oceans and land by the processes like evaporation, condensation, and precipitation is known as water cycle. So, water will be moving in a cyclical manner from oceans to atmosphere, from atmosphere back to the land, and from land again moving to the oceans, right? So, have you ever seen that water disappears on floor? Some water is spilled. On floor, some water is spilled. And after rain, you might have seen the roads are wet. But the next day morning, if you see, you will not see any water there. Have you seen that?
Yes, sir, and even our dresses get dried when after
Yeah.
drying.
So, our wet clothes, after some time they become dry clothes. Where does this water go? Water disappeared. Water disappeared. So, what actually happening here? Water is getting evaporated. The liquid form of water, it is converted into gaseous form of water, that is water vapor. Once water vapor is formed, where does it go? It goes into the air, right? So, in order the water to get evaporated, what is needed? In order the water to get evaporated, heat is needed, okay, right?
Yes, sir.
From where this heat energy comes? From sunlight, right? So, water evaporates by heat energy. Under sunlight, the water is evaporated by using the light energy. What about the water that gets evaporated even under the shade also? Under sunlight, by using light energy and under shade by using using the heat energy of sunlight, the water gets evaporated, right? Whereas under shade, how the water gets evaporated? Water evaporates
using the warmer, sir.
Using the heat energy of warm air. Okay, is that clear? And evaporation,
Yes, sir.
evaporation actually it is a slow process, but with the increasing heat, the rate of evaporation also increases, right? Evaporation is actually a slow process, but with the increasing heat, the rate of evaporation also increases. So, in which season more evaporation of water occurs? Very good.
Sir, more
In,
heat is in
in
summer, sir.
summer, evaporation occurs at a high rate. In which season evaporation occurs at slow rate?
Slowly in warm air, sir.
Winter, sir. Winter, sir.
Yes,
Sir, in winter, slowly evaporates, sir.
very good. And you understood the reason why in summer rate of evaporation is more and why in winter rate of evaporation is less?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
right.
sir.
Very
Because
good.
of heat, sunlight, it will heat fastly, sir. Yes, sir. In summer, there is more heat.
Huh? No heater.
Winter, low, sir.
In summer there is heat, sir.
In summer there is more heat, in winter there is less heat.
By using
Okay? Right.
it will
Will evaporation occurs faster or slowly under room temperature? Under room temperature, will evaporation occurs faster or slowly?
Sir, slowly, sir.
Okay.
Slowly.
So, will evaporation occurs slowly or faster with the fan speed?
Slowly, sir.
Huh?
Sir, slowly.
Slowly, yeah?
fast, sir. Sir, we will spread the water means it will fast, sir. Fast, sir. Sir, we will spread the water means that will become fast, sir. It will put in a container means it will slow, sir.
Good, good, good. So with the increasing the surface area, the rate of evaporation increases. With the increasing temperature, the rate of evaporation increases. With the increasing wind speed also the rate of evaporation increases. That's why whenever some water is spilled on the ground while mopping the floor, okay, with floor mopper, what will your mother do? She will be switching on the fan so that the water gets evaporated faster. So there are three conditions in which the water evaporation occurs faster. One is rise in the temperature, another one is rise in the surface area, and rise in the wind speed. With the increase in all these three things, the rate of evaporation also increases. Is that clear? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have written evaporation, sorry, formation of water vapor. Formation of water vapor takes place by normal evaporation from open water bodies and dash from underground water. So underground water, how it gets vaporized or how it joins the water cycle?
Sir, heat, sir.
Heat.
Sir,
So
by when the ground will become heat, sir.
no. You all might be knowing.
Sir, when
Okay.
Sir, when
surface area will become
underground water become river, sir.
Listen.
yes, sir.
Listen. In
Sunlight, sir.
Okay, listen. In getting to know plants chapter, we have learnt about the functions of leaf. What are the functions of leaf? Photosynthesis and transpiration. What is transpiration?
Yes,
The loss of water in the form of water vapor.
In the form of paper, sir.
Right
Yes,
now?
sir. Water, sir.
So, underground water will be joining the atmosphere in the form of water vapor by the plant's transpiration. Got it? Okay? By transpiration from underground water.
Water from the roots and they yes, sir. While transpiration, water will be vapor.
Yes, sir.
By transpiration, okay, from underground water also, water vapor is formed. Okay, now, good, right. So, in water cycle, there are the first phase is formation of water vapor. Is that clear? This formed water vapor is present in the air, right? And in order the water cycle to be continued, this water vapor should go up. Up means to the heights. Okay? How will it go? That we will learn. Okay? So first part,
Sir, in height,
formation of water vapor. Second part, rise of water vapor. Two, rise of water vapor up in the air. Up in the atmosphere. Up in the atmosphere. How the water vapor,
some people are waiting.
how the water vapor will be moving up? Okay, right. When land is heated, what it is? When land is heated, the surrounding air also gets heated. When air gets heated, air will rise up. Air will rise up. This rising air will carry the water vapor up. So, the water vapor rised up in the atmosphere. Is that clear? Okay?
Sir, some people are waiting in the lobby. Please admit them.
It got locked
Sir,
up.
make anyone else co-host, sir. They will admit, sir.
No, wait. They can see the video in YouTube. Now I can't do all those setting changes. I have just changed some settings. Now I can't admit anyone. Right. Okay, listen. So, the water vapor will rise up along with the raised hot air. Okay. Along with the rising hot air, water vapor will rise up. Water vapor will rise up. vapor moves up, it cools. It cools and expands. And when it cools, it condenses. It condenses and forms tiny droplets. Okay. Once water vapor moves up, it cools and condenses and form tiny droplets. These tiny droplets of water, they join together and they form clouds. These droplets join together and form clouds. Right? They join together and they form clouds. When these clouds become heavy, they fall in the form of rain or hail or snow. Okay. So here formation of water vapor by evaporation, formation of clouds by condensation. So two activities are over. We have learned that in water cycle three processes are there: evaporation, condensation and precipitation. So initial evaporation took place, water vapor is formed. Then water vapor moved up. There in the heights, the water vapor got condensed and clouds are formed. Now what is left? What is left? After condensation, what is left?
So the clouds become cold and
Precipitation is left.
Rain, sir.
Precipitation.
Yes, sir. When
The occurrence of rain or the fall of rain or the fall of snow or the fall of hail, it is known as precipitation. Okay. So this precipitation occurs once the clouds become heavy. Right? Precipitation, fall of rain or snow or hail. Okay, right? This will take place. The snow that falls in mountains, it melts and flows down into streams and rivers. The water that falls on land, it flows as rain, okay, and it flows into streams and into rivers. Water of rivers, ultimately it flows into oceans. While the water is flowing towards the oceans, on its way, they will be recharging many ponds, lakes, etc. Rainwater even it fills up lakes and ponds too, right? A part of rain will be getting absorbed into groundwater. This groundwater, it will be actually providing water to the open wells, right? And groundwaters, they even provide water for many lakes and ponds also, right? And this is how the water cycle is operated, right? But there is a problem here. If there are no plants in the way of water, then what will it happen? Water will straight away directly moving and joining with the ocean without getting utilized. Not only that, when there are no plants, no trees, water flow will be very high, and this water flow will result in the removal of the topsoil, that will cause soil erosion, right? In that way soil will be lost, and there will not be any soil that will be left for our crop fields. So we need to grow the plants. When plants are grown, plants are in good number, they will prevent the water flow, and the water flow speed will be reduced so that the top layer of the soil will not be removed. Okay, right. Such that the circulation of water between oceans and land is known as water cycle. What will it happen if it rains heavily? What will it happen if it rains heavily?
Erosion, sir.
Huh? Erosion. Floods will take place. Floods means what is flood? What is flood? Generally, if it rains normally, listen. Okay. Good. Listen. If it rains normally, the water bodies are filled up. That is, ponds, lakes, rivers are filled up. If it rains heavily, they are overfilled. The overfilled water, what it will happen? What it will do? It will be spreading. It will be spreading the side by areas of those water bodies. And this spreading will cause floods. Floods will submerge many areas like crop fields, forests, and our living areas, human living areas also, like villages, cities, all these things. And because of this submerging of all these fields, what will happen? If crop fields are submerged, crops will be damaged. If forests are submerged, many animals may die. And if villages and cities are submerged, domestic animals, properties and human life also will get damaged. So floods will cause a lot of damage and death of some animals also sometimes. Okay? Right. If rain does not take place for a long period, what will happen? The soil will continue to lose water.
Drought will come, sir.
Okay? The soil will continue to lose water, and it will, as it continuously losing water by evaporation and transpiration, the soil will become dry. The dry soil will not allow any plants to grow in it. This will result in drought. Condition, right? And vegetation in that area and animals in that area may completely get reduced, or they may die also. That's why in order to face such consequences, we need to conserve. Conserve means we need to save the water. Right? Water conservation can be done by rainwater harvesting system. What is rainwater harvesting system? Collecting the rainwater in different ways, like by digging the pits, by rooftop collection, all these things. Right? So wherever the water falls, catch that water and conserve it. This is known as. So there are rooftop rainwater harvesting system, and another option is to allow the water to go directly into the ground so that groundwater levels will be maintained. This is how we can save the water, and we can use this water whenever there is no rain that takes place, right? Okay. So with this, this water chapter is completed.